Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and not in the downtown Lansing studios, but this is going to suffice. We use it quite a bit. We are going to spend a little time right now in the Lansing area with John Walsh. He's the president and CEO, as you all know, of the Michigan Manufacturers Association. John, welcome to the show. It's always good to have you on. How you doing?
Doing great, and thanks for having me back. We're always pleased to participate.
Well, listen, we need to know what's going on in the manufacturing sector. As you know, it's one of the most important to our economic welfare, and you're the guy who's in the know more than anyone else. So we're gonna bother you until you can't handle anymore. In the meantime, I will tell you, as an assertive guy, I invited him on as a guest, and what's the first thing he did? He brought a guest, right?
That's right.
John, why don't you go ahead and introduce your guest?
Thanks, Chris. It's a great opportunity for me to proudly introduce our new Executive Director of Workforce Solutions, Bill Rayl, who just joined us to help the MMA address the number one issue before our members, and that is workforce, well-trained and available and ready to work workforce. Bill has decades of experience in this area, joined us from the Jackson Area Manufacturing Association. And with that brief introduction, I'm going to let him speak to what he's been up to the last 2 weeks and what we're planning going forward.
Thanks, John. And Chris, glad to be here. As John said, I was president of the Jackson Area Manufacturers Association for 19 years. And down there, I helped put together a number of programs to help with talent retention, training, et cetera, et cetera. For the last couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks now, I've been at the MMA putting together the action plan for getting out with the manufacturers and doing deeper dives into not just the challenges that they have, but what have they been doing to try to solve those problems and those issues? Who have they been working with? What's working in their regions? What's not working? And then assisting them to either enhance or expand or even create solutions that will help them move the ball forward. So my job is going to be helping them succeed in solving those talent retention, attraction, and development needs.
Well, I would also suggest that part of your job is going to be bringing, not just the Jackson manufacturers together, but also Capital Area, Detroit, all that. I mean, there are those associations as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've been promoted to, instead of just working for the Jackson area manufacturers, I'm now working for all of the state's manufacturers through the MMA. So the MMA has put their money where their mouth is and said, we're getting all engaged in doing this workforce development stuff, which has been for many years the number one challenge that manufacturers have been facing, and not just manufacturers, but employers in general, but manufacturers very much specifically.
Bill, it's interesting, and I'm not just blowing smoke here, but you're working in a great organization for a good guy too, and that's going to make a difference. So let's talk a little bit about that, because it is, and according to our Michigan Future Business Index, it is the number one problem for all employers throughout the state of Michigan is this talent issue. In manufacturing, it's even more unique because of the way the technology has crept into manufacturing and how it has changed it. So that employee needs even more training than they ever have.
Yeah, it's ongoing. I mean, it's not just train them once and then they're done. It's as technology continues to advance, you have to train and retrain, and it's continuous learning. And you can't do it by yourself, especially if you're a small to mid-sized manufacturer. You have to partner with other people. And that's going to be a critical part of what I'm doing, is helping to make those connections and develop those partnerships.
Yeah, you guys have done some great training, and John, you might want to answer this. We'll give Bill a little bit of time here to find out where his office is and do a strategic plan. What do you see coming out of this that will fall into Bill's bailiwick?
So he's already given us a draft, and we're going through that to make sure that we hit the ground running hard. But connectivity is the primary objective, is to help our members connect with educational resources, training resources, job or workforce sources, meaning where can we find folks that are looking for a job, and then being proactive, helping community colleges and training programs, federal or state, to be prepared for the future. moving forward, and make sure that we're competitive because we have a solid workforce in general. Look, we can pass more incentives. We can do a lot of different things here at the state to make it a welcoming business environment. But if we don't have good workers, we will not win. We just simply will not win. So the reason for bringing Bill on is to make sure that we win that race.
You know, it's kind of interesting because I can't help but think about our own circumstance here. And I look at the West Campus of Lansing Community College, teaching robotics, teaching manufacturing, teaching welding, and all those things. There's got to be that hookup too, I would think, in the future.
Absolutely. And one thing, and I'll let Bill adjust it quickly, but he can speak both business speak and education speak, and that's going to be critical.
Yeah,
those are important.
Yeah, it's a big chunk of connecting and translating and really helping folks all think about this as a talent supply chain, right? So this is about getting the raw material coming in the door and working with the supply chain from the manufacturing world to develop that talent as far down the supply pipeline as you can get.
Well, I'll tell you what, big work ahead of you, but I'm sure you guys are capable. John Walsh, President and CEO of the Michigan Manufacturers Association, and newly appointed to Bill Rayl, who's the new Executive Director of Workforce Solutions. Let's get out there and get those solutions. We appreciate it. Thanks for spending time with us today, guys, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to be right back on the Michigan Business Network. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat, and I'm Chris Holman.